let's be honest, we're all a little shocked by what we're seeing with Liverpool right now. After the club's transformation and subsequently an extended period of domination under Jurgen Klopp, almost everybody expected Liverpool to suffer after he left. And that's why there was a mini meltdown when he announced last season that he would be leaving the club in the summer. But the new guy stepped in and has hit the ground running, putting up incredible performances to the surprise of fans, pundits and stakeholders. So the question now is, how has Arne Slot managed to revive Liverpool so quickly after Klopp? Let's talk about it. You see, the name on everyone's lips to replace Klopp was former Liverpool player Xabi Alonso. He seemed like the perfect fit tactically, commercially and sentimentally. Looking at what he'd done at Bayer Leverkusen, it felt like he was the only one who would put the minds of fans at ease if he was hired. But then, he announced that he would be staying with Leverkusen for at least another season, so it became scary for Liverpool fans. Who were the owners going to hire? Were there any good young managers still on the market? Who would come in and fill Jurgen Klopp's huge shoes? The owners went all the way to the Netherlands to find a solution, hiring the man who won the Eredivisie in 2023 and the KNVB Cup in 2024 with Feyenoord, and became only the fourth manager in history to be named Eredivisie Manager of the Year in back-to-back seasons. His name, Arne Slot. And it wasn't just the accolades that made him attractive to the Liverpool owners, it was his style of play, similar but still very different from what Klopp played, but more importantly, agreeable with the club's identity and philosophy. Slot was reportedly close to moving to the Premier League a year before, after being approached by Spurs in 2023, but he decided to stay at Feyenoord, seemingly holding out for a better opportunity in the future. And that came in the form of the Liverpool job in the summer of 2024. Now, even with his pretty impressive CV at Feyenoord, Liverpool fans weren't 100% confident. For sure, there was a lot of hope that he would do well, but frankly, not a lot of certainty and confidence. The Dutch Eredivisie is a very different ballgame from the English Premier League. Doing well in the Netherlands doesn't guarantee that one would do well in England, and there was real-time evidence of that in Manchester United's Erik ten Hag, who tore the Eredivisie apart for years, but continues to struggle in the Premier League. And to make things just a little bit scarier, in Klopp's last couple of years at Liverpool, things were already a bit shaky. They finished 5th in the Premier League table in the 2022-23 season, which meant they had to play Europa League football in the 2023-24 season. One would have expected them to go on to win that trophy rather easily because of the quality that they possess, but they were knocked out in a pretty embarrassing fashion by Atalanta in the quarterfinals while also finishing 3rd in the Premier League tables. It was a bad season for the Reds, a bad couple of seasons. This fall-off made fans believe that the new manager would need some time to get them back to the desired level. There was hardly any certainty that the club would fight for the Champions League or be in another title race so soon. If there was any bit of certainty before, all of it surely went out the window after the summer transfer window closed. Liverpool brought in only one player this summer, Federico Chiesa, and even he was only brought in to be a squad player. They tried so hard to bring in Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, but the Spanish midfielder chose to turn down Liverpool and stay loyal to his boyhood club. And it's not like Liverpool didn't lose players, they did. Fabio Carvalho was sold, Thiago Alcantara retired, while Stefan Bajcetic, Ben Doak, Calvin Ramsey, Nat Phillips and a couple of other young squad players went out on loan. Essentially, the squad was depleted but wasn't replenished, so whatever hope there was diminished even further. The pessimistic fans had already written off the 2024-25 season as a transitional phase. A top 4 finish and a quarter-final run in the Champions League would have been great for them. But Slot had other plans. Liverpool started the season with 2-0 wins over newly promoted Ipswich Town and Brentford, who just lost their best player, Ivan Toney. Those victories weren't moving anyone. Those were games Liverpool were expected to win, so it was nothing special. The first big test came in the 3rd game of the season against old rivals Manchester United, and it was at Old Trafford. United were a new-looking team who'd spent far more than Liverpool in the summer. They'd gotten new defenders, new midfielders and a new striker, so you could say that they were fired up going into the new season. They were also coming from their first loss of the season and were desperate to bounce back and make a statement against tough rivals. But Liverpool stood tall and ran away as 3-0 winners. That's when people began to sit up and pay attention to Arne Slot's Liverpool. He wasn't playing heavy metal football like Klopp. I mean, his transitional play is really good, but Slot's style is more conservative than Klopp's. People trying to explain it away as luck, saying that Man United, particularly Casemiro, had a bad day at the office. But here's the thing, it wasn't luck. Slot's tactics forced United to be disastrous. The man himself explained to Sky Sports after that game that he had studied Man United, noted the differences between their play this season and last season, and was able to point out their weaknesses and exploit them. According to him, from their first games of the season, he noticed that United ran more and worked harder when the ball was played through them, so he decided to do just that, and of course, it worked a treat. He talked about how he observed that Man United's fullbacks are always high up the pitch, which forces Casemiro to always come in between. What this meant for his tactics was that he just needed to leave his wingers, Salah and Diaz, high, and they would often find themselves in 1v1 situations, making it easy for them to hurt United. So, it shouldn't be a surprise that both those players were amazing in that game, with Diaz scoring 2 and Salah scoring 1 and assisting 2. Slot also talked about his midfielders having to be hard workers and strong duel winners, and we saw that perfectly with Ryan Gravenberch. So, it was all planned and executed perfectly. And speaking of Gravenberch, leads us straight to our next point. One secret to Arne Slot's revival of Liverpool is his apparent great man management. We'll explain in a second, but if you're enjoying this video so far, take a second to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you see more amazing content like this. Have you done that? Okay, let's now talk about Slot's man management. This man is so brilliant with the way he profiles players and uses them. Luis Diaz came under fire last season, especially for his poor finishing, and was almost on his way out of the club in the summer. But Slot came in and reignited the fire in the Colombian. Now, 7 games in, Diaz is Liverpool's top scorer in the Premier League, currently sitting in the top 5 for most goals in the league this season. He's also profiled Cody Gakpo right, using him as a winger instead of a striker, which led to him producing 4 goal contributions in just 3 starts in all competitions this season. Darwin Núñez was another guy who got a lot of stick from fans last season, but even he has managed 2 goal contributions in 3 starts for Liverpool in all competitions this season. But of course, the most significant transformation must be that of Ryan Gravenberch. Slot has truly revived this guy. Gravenberch was a flop at Bayern and his first season at Liverpool was nothing to rave about. Some fans had already written him off as a waste of €40 million, but Slot came in, moved him back into the holding midfield role and set him free to shine. And boy does he look like a brand new player. We're now starting to see why Gravenberch was a teenage sensation at Ajax. Gravenberch looks like a whole new signing under Slot. He's been so good since the start of the season that fans are now happy that Zubimendi rejected them in the summer, and so good that he earned himself a nomination for Premier League Player of the Month for September. Arne Slot knows how to bring the best out of his players, and that's helped to significantly elevate the all-round level of the team. And when you elevate the level of the team, rest assured the results will follow. And the results have followed. 7 games into the new season, and Liverpool, who everyone wrote off from the title race, sit atop the Premier League table, a point above Man City and Arsenal. But we must say, the Reds haven't been perfect. They stumbled against Nottingham Forest, losing at home to Forest for the first time in 55 years. They were stunned by a Callum Hudson-Odoi goal in the 72nd minute, and were not able to find a response. People saw that and said the purple patch was over, but Slot wasted no time to bounce back. 3 days later, they travelled to Milan to face the European giants in their opening game of the Champions League. Coincidentally, that day was Slot's birthday, and he had a special gift for the Liverpool fans. Despite going down to an early Christian Pulisic goal, Liverpool were able to mount a comeback against the Italian team and eventually win the game 3-1. One thing stood out in that game: Liverpool's superior ability from set pieces. They scored 2 goals from set pieces in that game and 1 from a neat transitional play, showing that they had so many ways to unlock a defense. Speaking of defense, Slot is working wonders with Liverpool's defense too. Everyone's talking about Arsenal and their defense, and it's no surprise after what they did last season. But Slot's Liverpool is proving to be even more stingy with letting in goals. They've conceded just 2 goals in 7 Premier League games, and 4 in 10 games across all competitions. For context, Arsenal have conceded 6, while Man City have conceded 8 in 7 games in the league alone. In fact, in Europe's top 5 leagues, only Juventus can boast a better defensive record at this stage of the season, having conceded just 1 in 7 league games. But when you consider the fact that 3 of their games have been 0-0 draws, while Liverpool are yet to draw a single game this season, you may begin to value Liverpool's performances a little more. Oh, and remember, that first-choice goalkeeper Alisson has struggled with injuries, but that hasn't affected their defensive record. In fact, against Crystal Palace, it was their third-choice goalkeeper, Vyacheslav Jarosz, who finished the game after Alisson went off with an injury, and Liverpool still kept a clean sheet. So, essentially, you could say that Slot systematically revived every single department, such that he can rotate players and still produce the same results. Some players, who used to play every single second of every game, are now being taken off to be rested, and it hasn't affected the results. Salah has been taken off twice this season and has come off the bench once. Trent has been taken off 5 times, and Robertson has been taken off 5 times and has come off the bench twice. With these rotations, Slot can keep his best players fresh, which is very important now that the schedules of players have become tighter than ever. But no one should look at this as a total transformation. What it is a revival, because Klopp laid the foundation for all we're seeing right now. The players and the system just needed a little feng shui, if you know what I mean. Klopp bought most of the players Slot is using and instilled a winning mentality in them, which has made it easy for them to absorb Slot's tactics rather quickly. Slot's not had to do any rebuilding. Really, he just had to do a little reorientation. But will he have to do a rebuilding soon though? Maybe. It's unclear how much longer the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mohamed Salah have at Anfield. Negotiating their renewals has proved difficult for the club, and it just feels like Liverpool will be forced to say goodbye to 1 or 2 of them next year. With the recent long-term injury to Dani Carvajal, it's expected that Real Madrid will come for Trent with extra vigor over the coming months, and Salah seems like he just might have 1 foot out the door. Alisson might also leave, but Liverpool seem to have already made plans for that with the signing of Georgi Mamardashvili. But these guys have come to form the core of Liverpool over the years, and we expect that the team might be shaken up a bit by their exits. Will Slot still be able to produce results if and when they leave? Well, time will tell. But considering how he seems to have made every player better in such a short time, there's no reason to doubt him, is there? But hey, all that's still in the future. Let us focus on the present. With how Liverpool are going under Arne Slot, what do you think they'll be able to achieve in his first season? Will they go on to win the league? Maybe the Champions League? Will they break Chelsea's record for fewest goals conceded in a single Premier League campaign? What do you think? Talk to us in the comments. And yeah, you know we said earlier that Slot has changed Ryan Gravenberch's life? Well, trust us, the gravity of what the coach has done is much bigger than you know. And no, we're not joking. Click on our video about Gravenberch to find out why. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to give the video a like if you enjoyed it and hit the subscribe button.